I asked you a question, and very quickly you kind of said no to it. You don't think Meta's the future. So you don't think what Zucker just did, the fact that the next generation of 12-year-olds today, 18-year-olds today are going to be sitting there hours a day instead of being on their phone, they're going to be on their virtual reality in a meta world. You don't think that's the direction we're going?
Metaverse. I thought you said metal is the future.
No.
Metaverse. Yeah. Definitely metaverse is where people are going to live. I mean, and this is where people are going to exist and interact. I mean, like Roblox. I mean, it's
kids all over it.
It's very interesting, and they'll tell you, I need some of this to buy a digital watch
skin,
so that I can flex with my watch in the metaverse. And you're thinking, hang on a minute, tell me that one more time.
Yeah, Dylan showed it to me the other day. Said, can I get $10 to buy this? I'm like, to do what?
Yeah, and so can you zoom out and see where this is going? I mean, I predict by the end of the decade, this is so pervasive that people want to take a psychedelic to have a human experience.
I agree.
I mean, this is going to be, the drugs have. Remember, the 80s is like the Coke era, and then the 90s is like, you have these eras, right? And so people are going to crave that type of, we're human beings. We're humans. Like, you can't get away from it. So remember, right now, your kid at 10 years old, mask, okay? They're going to school. No one can see their face. You better wash your hands all the time. Don't play with any other kids. Stay home. Stay in your room. And what's happening? I'm anxious. Kids are having like all these problems. Like, I'm anxious. I don't know what to do. I can't talk to anyone. The kids can't talk. I mean, I'm sure your kids can.
Then you go home, you go online, and you're
talk
Superman,
because you have this type of engagement with your family. But it's like the average kid in a D.R. Horton home in a subdivision that's locked in his room, covered in sanitizer. He's up there. Metaverse is his one outlet,
escape from
right?
reality.
And so where's this headed? Is you can see a society that goes down this type of path, and imagine from the controlling elite.
Yeah.
Your whole life is infinitely controllable because you've abandoned all your critical thinking skills. I mean, all Einstein, like Carl Sagan, all these guys said, the technology evolves to the point where people abandon the ability to think and to be human and to have critical.
So did Ted Kaczynski, though. In fairness,
critical thought. And you can see this happening right now. I mean, I'm like you. I go somewhere and I'm like, "How you doing?" And people are absolutely terrified. I mean,
but that's a new concept.
This is early.
That didn't exist before COVID.
This is early.
Wait. So I mean, I agree with you 100%, and I think society is going to really break into like two different realms. You're going to have the real and the pseudo real,
the virtual and the real world. Yeah.
So that. But that actually goes against your argument, though, EB. I mean, the idea of his kids are going to interact with digital currency far more in their life than they're ever going to interact with tangible currency.
But will there ever be a time where people say, holy crap, my entire existence is controllable?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't know.
Can you pull that back, please?
I don't know.
Pull the book back so people can see. Just pull it back a little bit.
Will there ever be a point where
the issue, EB, is though, will they care? Because I mean, if you told me 2 years ago that the city of New York and the people inside it would allow somebody to shut their businesses down, would allow somebody to curfew them and muzzle them, would allow somebody to essentially put soft martial law on the city of New York for years, I would have said you're out of your mind. And there'd be people hanging from the bridge, and it didn't happen. And matter of fact, they agreed with it.
Yeah, and what's amazing is you ask them what makes New York great, and they're like, capitalist center of the world. And you're like, really?
Here's a question, though.
It's crazy.
Here's a question, though.
Yeah, man.
What's new, guys? What do we like? But
this is what's new. I can actually answer that because I've thought about this nonstop. Yeah. What's new is that the control is now comfortable. When our forefathers got taxed and they didn't have representation, there was discomfort. There wasn't constant distraction. Right now, you can be controlled. Your life is controlled, but you're in an air-conditioned room. You have access to a metaverse.
Yeah, I don't know.
You have distractions today.
Okay, can I push?
Here,
let me push back. Okay, what happened in 1913? What happened in 1913?
1913.
Well, you got an income tax.
Yeah. Taxes were introduced.
Of course.
Okay.
But only for the millionaires. There was 5 of them.
Fine. But here's a question. Okay, let me go to a different timeline for you.
And then they didn't like it, so they created the Fed to get their money back.
What happened in 1862, 1863?
1862, there was a Civil War, wasn't it?
Okay, and then Lincoln came out and he said, we need to have taxes because we need to pay off the Civil War. once we pay it off, we will get away with taxes.
Right.
Sure.
And the American people said what? Shit, okay, we trust you, bro. Okay,
Yeah.
fine, I'll pay some taxes. So
Sure.
he put some tiers. It was, by the way, it was minimal, like 2 to 6%, 6 to 10%. And he says, once we pay off the debt for Civil War, we'll stop paying taxes. But you know what happened to taxes? Do you think it ever went away?
They never go away.
Here's the thing. It did go away in 1872 under Lincoln. In 1872, income taxes went away. Okay, but let me explain to where I'm going with this. 13.
The cigar taxes didn't go away. I mean, the income tax did, but they had
it was
taxed
mainly
so
the
many
income
other things.
taxes, which was the main one that collected most of the money. So that went away, which was the model. Guys, listen. Like, imagine if I come up and I say, guys, shit, we just raised $50 million to do this. Look, here's what we got with the movie. It's going to blow up. I need you guys to take a 10% pay cut in your income. I'll take a 100% pay cut. You guys in, I hope you do it. And we say, okay, let's do it. And then, but at the same time, if we come back, we'll increase it 15%. The point is, for the longest time, people have said, all right, cool. Withholding tax, you know the whole withholding tax withholding concept? You know who came up with that? A guy named Milton Friedman. And he said it was one of the biggest regrets I make in my life that I agreed to it. What I'm trying to say is historically, we've all been like, majority of the world's been like, okay, and there's been a select few of 10% of people that are willing to fight back to bully, and everybody else had to make a decision to see who was better at presenting their argument. But the point I'm trying to make here with them on the meta side, and I want you to push back on this as well, on the meta side is the following. If we are going that direction, there's nothing you can do about it on the meta side to change it. We can't change that direction. We're going in that direction. It is already too late. A guy pitched a meta world for valuetainment to me 3 years ago, Antonio, who was here with us, and I'm like, what? And then now he came back, and now we're having a real conversation about it. So if we go to that route, this means what?
Sure. Yeah.
This is...
Well, you'll just buy a representation of that in the valuetainment world. You know, you'll have like a gold mine that has little trucks moving.
But that becomes an NFT.
They're selling digital real estate now. There's digital land that doesn't exist.
Someone just bought a multi-million-dollar yacht on a metaverse to hang out on a fake yacht. I'd rather go to a real yacht and sell.
Will there ever be a time where maybe you're taking the mushroom trip to have a human experience and you say, wait a minute, like I had a thought and my social credit score went down, and now I don't have access to the valuetainment metaverse because I'm being punished.
They're trying to.
Will it ever happen? And what will you want?
Insecurity.
When that
They're
happens?
trying to create an environment of insulated insecurity. You're fat on a real yacht. You're not fat on the metaverse yacht. You're short in real life. You're not short in metaverse. You can't dunk in real life, but on NBA 2K, you can dunk. You can 360. So there's this idea that the real world is unfair. So now, going back to your point, these people are able to get control because they're making life fairer for everybody. Give up all my control in the real world because I don't like the real world. I don't like who I am. I don't like the money that I make. I don't like the way that I look juxtaposed against this. I don't like the girlfriend that I have. The metaverse is the world that I want. This is my idealized version of self. So I will give up everything in the real world as long as you keep me safe and as long as I can have access to my idealized world.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.